Hi, then. Welcome to Kingdom Mindset Podcast. I'm Jackson, your host, and today on the podcast, the Kingdom of God through the lenses of your profession, an in depth teaching that will enlighten our understanding and shape the mindset with which you look at your job, your daily work, and your lifestyle, and how to be a kingdom ambassador through the light of your profession and perhaps also at your work. In Romans chapter 12, in verse 6, and I read, In His grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. God has given us gifts for doing certain things well. Pay attention to that. I will return to it in a moment. So, if God has given you the ability to prophesy, speak out with much faith as God has given you. If your gift is serving others, serve them well. If you are a teacher, teach well. If your gift is to encourage others, be encouraging. If it is giving, give generously. If God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. Now, let me stop here because that's not where I want to make my emphasis. But here's what this is the reason I read. When we read this portion, we think of the gifts mentioned here to represent only spiritual aspect, or if you will, the spiritual perspective of God's call on one's life. Thus, if you didn't have the gift, as reading through this list, you feel like I'm not the type that love and enjoy encouragement. I'm not the type that loves to teach. I'm not the type that love to prophesy. So maybe I don't fit into all of this. And you'll be right, because this is how the Bible has been looked upon in a one dimensional, if you will, approach. In this context of the teaching and looking at the kingdom of God through the spheres of society, you think the Bible has been interpreted through the lenses of religion alone. Thus, it makes it difficult for you to identify yourself if these gifts are only accepted and celebrated within the context of the sphere of religion. So, what about if your gift is in the area of communication and the media? Well, it's not mentioned there. What about if you give in the area of science and technology? You see where I'm getting with this. However, the opening statement, once we get into the nitty gritty of our spirituality, we miss the whole point. And here is the key. If you miss this, you miss the foundation for this in depth systematic teaching, the full picture of which will be available for students in our class as we always dish out the riches. Look at this. Verse 6 again. Pay attention. In His grace, God has given us different gifts for doing certain things well. Now, if nothing else you understand from this teaching series, hear this. You have the gift of God in you, not one gift, gifts of God in you. And because of these gifts that God has gifted you with, you are able to do certain things, not a certain thing, certain things well. And here's the challenge, and I find this in Christendom, a journey I had to embark on myself. The things we do well, we tend to look down on them because they come too easy, you see. It's too easy. It's not like serious. to the point that the job, the responsibility that you do so well, if it yield profit, if it yield income, if it brings you abundance, Christian professional, as strange as this will sound, will feel ashamed and feel a little bit concerning, because what they do, they'll say, actually don't do much, and it just, God just keep blessing it. The Bible is clear. God have gifted you with gifts that enable you to do certain things well. One of the best picture for me is the guy by the name of Bezalel. We saw this guy, if you're following my Bible reading journey in the book of Exodus. Bezalel, we saw him when Moses was given the pattern of the Ark of the Covenant to be built in the wilderness. God said to him, go in the camp. There's a man there, there's a gentleman there by the name of Bezalel. Then God lists out the qualities of this guy. I mean, if you read the cadre of this guy's qualification, you ask yourself, who in the world spend the years and time to get those qualifications? Then you get shocked, because God said, I have given him the Spirit of God, the Spirit of wisdom, so that he is able to do craft work. He's a master in craftsmanship. He's an expert when it comes to gold, silver, and bronze. He had a second master's degree in fashioning, in embroidering. This guy has numerous expression of the arts, entertainment, the beauty, the design, the building, the construction. God has gifted him gifts to do these certain things well. Are you good at what you do? Do you find this phenomenon in your life today, that you tend to look down on the things you do very well, the things that come to you natural, the things that you are so good at, and you hear your friends say things like, you make it look easy. And then you wave aside and say, well, it's not that. It's nothing, you will say, trying to be humble, isn't it? A wise man once said, a wise man of a blessed memory now, he once said, humility is to be known for who you really are, nothing more, nothing less. Because you see, if you are less than who you really are, it's inferior pride. If you are more than who you are, it's superior pride. So the balance is authenticity, and that is humility. Thus, accepting that what you do well is nothing, and believing that, for that matter, is one of the most destructive self-sabotage approach that you can ever find anybody with. And I tell you the truth, nobody can deliver anyone who believes in their own self-sabotage and are not open to reevaluate the choices, the decision, and the lifestyle they have embarked on. So today, as you listen to me, I want you to consider Romans 12 and verse 6. Reread this passage. And as you look down from the end of that verse into verse 7, 8, 9, 10, think through those lists as not spiritual gift. We'll tackle this in subsequent series. But suppose you were to be addressed as such. If your gift is media and communication, communicate truth. If your gift is art and entertainment, be a craftsman, master, expert like Bezalel. If your gift is science and technology, partner with God and develop and discover things that are yet to be known. If your gift is farming and agriculture, join hand with God in the Garden of Eden and rediscover